But it's a great resource if it's a resource, which is very different than a testing regime that comes from above that is not part of pedagogy. But I understand where you're from. Yes, sir.
It seems like our government anymore is button heads. We don't want to work together, so a group of Republicans come up with this idea.
I had this image when you said this is button heads.
And then vice versa, a group of Democrats say this, a group of Republicans say no.
Yeah.
What can you do, or what can we do as a country to work together again? Because it's not, we have all these wars and everything going on all over the world, and here at home we have this political warfare going on, and we're basically just fighting each other.
Okay.
So in the end, we all, I'd imagine, I'd hope we all want the same thing, so, I guess, what could you say that you would do?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little old-fashioned this way. I think just being nice, being gracious, and being respectful.
You don't see that much anymore.
Is really important. And that's not a solution, but that is something that is important to me. And I will work with anyone, even if we deeply disagree, and respectful. The second is we have to change the way we fund elections. Because if you want me to go be working with Congressman Lee, who I easily could work with on rural issues or different issues, Republican, I can't be spending all my time talking to rich people. If you actually want the time to sit down and have a cup of tea, have a dinner with my Republican friend, no, you're not offering?
I do that.
It'll be American beef.
American beef.
But that requires a space to do that in Washington. It simply doesn't exist. So I don't see gridlock as a problem here and corruption as a problem here. I think gridlock and corruption are part of the same problem, which is that big money is getting in the way of people who have genuinely, real deeply held different beliefs, but both care about good jobs, dignity, innovation, growing, moving forward, not getting stuck, right? We do care about a lot of the same thing. But we need the space to do that. And you're spending half your time raising money. Yes?
But the people who you're talking about who are spending 30 to 70% of their time raising money from people with money,
Yes.
they have the power to change the system. They're the legislators. So, where is this change? I mean, if the system is so deeply corrupt that the people who are being corrupted want to be corrupted, and the people who are corrupting want to corrupt, where do you break into this to end this cycle?
I have an idea. There's a candidate running for the 19th congressional district. That's fun. How does change ever happen? Where's my history teacher? Okay. I'll tell you one place that small groups of citizens coming together. I'll tell you a time that gives me a lot of hope. 1890s. Think how you would have felt in the 1890s. How are you going to get this corrupt Congress and state legislatures to ever change? Think how you would have felt as a suffragist. You've been decades now talking about a right to vote. How are we going to get the men who are in power to ever support something to give up some of that power? It can happen, but the only way it happens is by people standing up. And you never know when or how, but you know if you're never going to win a fight, you're not in. And so I'm going to be in those fights. I think we got to go now. Yeah. Okay, or do we not have to go? I'm happy to.
We probably one more question, but we've got an early labor rally to get to.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Question, where do you stand on term limits and career politicians?
Yeah, I support term limits. I think we need, I support term limits, and we got a real problem with people leaving Congress to go to become lobbyists. Over 50% of Congress members do that now. That's a huge problem.
The term limits take away my right of choice. I like Chuck Schumer, I want to keep voting for him. I like Kristen Gillibrand, I want to keep voting for him. You're taking away my right to vote for them.
Yeah.
If you don't like them, don't vote for them.
Yeah, I actually think that we need some fresh people in office right now, and that need is greater. Because we've got both in Albany and in Washington.
Doesn't that tie in with the constant campaigning they do, looking for the
Yeah.
$200 for the next election, then the next election?
Yeah, so I do support term limits. I know a lot of Democrats, not all Democrats do, but I do. I think it's important at this time.
But when you
Thank you.
have public financing, mitigate some of that? so
Yes.
that
I support both.
legislators are not spending all their time
Yeah.
fundraising for the next election.
Absolutely. But let me just be clear. I think we are in a historic moment right now in our democracy. And when I say historic moment, a historic crisis, a democratic crisis. And we need to bring a lot of tools to bear to take on a system that isn't working. So again, I know I may not agree with you on term limits, but I see the combination of public financing elections and term limits and overturning Citizens United as all being part of moving forward and out of this stuck, gridlocked, broken system that we have right now. I don't want to end on that
Thank you so much for coming. And thank you all for your great questions.
Yeah, you guys were three-part questions. Every question. I'm going to call it three-part